Brooklyn Independent Television.
Hello, I'm Randy Piers. Welcome to Sector B, the business of Brooklyn on Brooklyn Independent Television. Art that hangs on a wall is normally not a big part of this show. It's not exactly the stuff of business plans and spreadsheets. But Cobble Hill has recently become home to a small group of people who work and even live in a building that's as quirky as the artfully made product they are so passionate about.
I was working in private equity and real estate development and flipping apartments and condos in Miami. So a friend was looking for some wallpaper from a company that had gone out of business, and it was crazy 70s wallpaper. And I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that. I was like, maybe I can combine my artistic and business sides into one endeavor, and decided to go out and talk to the guy, and flew out to Oregon. And he literally had the world's biggest Duraflame log outside and was just 1,000-yard runs of vinyl and mylar and was burning them. And he was about to burn all the equipment and everything. He had to be out in 4 days. And so he gave me 24 hours to make up my mind if I wanted the equipment or not, and 24 hours to get it out of there, and hired a bunch of people to help me get it out and get it into a truck, and got on my way. And the main piece of equipment was a 50-foot long, 8,000-pound steel vacuum tube. Okay. That basically holds the paper in place, and then you print on top of that. The wallpaper market before I got into it, for the most part, was something that had become very mainstream and very cheaply produced mass market product, which led to its demise. The survivors were really the high-end, really intricate, beautiful wallpapers that never left the high-end market at all. We were one of the earliest wallpaper companies to really sell directly to the public on the high end. You used to have to go through a designer and go to a trade-specific showroom that you couldn't get into without a designer in order to purchase. We didn't recognize any of the stodgy wallpaper rules because we didn't know them. So we came out of the gate just going for color and what we thought would be fun and interesting for people that we knew, people of our age group that were looking for something dynamic for their walls rather than background. We wanted to make wallpaper foreground. So really we tried to take it and make it so you had one wall of the popping graphic that really spoke to people and enlivened their space rather than fade into the background and just cover a wall. That wasn't really our attitude at all. So this is our cherry scratch and sniff, and this is one of the ones that is in the Cooper Hewitt permanent collection. You can smell it already. Oh yeah, it smells like Luden's cough drops. Customization is a huge piece of the world these days with instant manufacturing and everything being on demand. And we take kind of an ancient art of screen printing and transpose that into current demands of style. Our intern, Matt Manson, is designing a wallpaper for a barbershop slash shoe store in his hometown of Bristol. So what he did was came in and did a bunch of hand-drawn designs. Then he would scan those and bring them into Photoshop. And it goes from being a completely hand-drawn piece, it eventually becomes a full repeat. And here you can see sort of how the different pieces all fit together. There is no room for error. You have to build in all of the overlap and make sure that you have enough information so that it will always link. It's a little more than a 64th that we allow for general overlap. So from here, we would actually do some test prints where we would make sure that we liked the scale and the repeat. Once we have a film prepared, we use that to set up a screen and is coated in a photosensitive emulsion. And now the film has been attached to a screen and is ready to be exposed. And this is the exposure unit here. And that will become the screen we use to print wallpaper. Once we exposed the emulsion to bright light, it baked the emulsion in, except where Matt's drawing was done in the film positive. So then Matt washed out the emulsion that hadn't dried in the process so that it left clean mesh behind. And now we'll dry the screen and then set it up and it's ready to make wallpaper. Done a lot of stuff for all sorts of actors, actresses, rock stars, from Dave Navarro's Bathroom to Cynthia Rowley. Done some stuff for the Trumps. People from all walks of life, really. So it's been pretty impressive. And Lenny was actually our first client, and we've done wallpaper for him in nightclubs that he's owned with Denzel Washington. We've done his house in Paris. And for our most recent collaboration, we worked with Lenny and his design firm, Kravitz Design, to come up with a series of new patterns that were all tied into sort of the mutual love we all have for Brazil. Well, I looked at a number of buildings in this specific neighborhood. I really liked the vibe of Cobble Hill. We were really looking for something beyond being a wallpaper showroom, someplace where we knew most of us were going to be living as well. So a neighborhood that we wanted to be in for ourselves was a big priority, as well as a place that was easily accessible. It really reminded me a lot of sort of old school New Orleans. The New Orleans building is pretty different. It's bright chartreuse green and silver. This building, we planned the building out to be a showcase of pattern and color, and most of that was coming through the windows and not from the exterior. The first floor was a glowing white mirrored box that constantly is producing different colors and patterns, and that was what we were bringing to the neighborhood. People don't always, completely understand exactly what's going on, but we like that it intrigues people enough so that they want to ask questions and they want to knock on the door and see what's happening, and that was definitely part of our intent. So second floor contains our offices, it contains our digital side, Flavor Pixels. Third floor are 2 rental apartments, which are currently occupied by Blake and Josh, who are general manager and printmaster, and I live on the 4th floor. We don't want this to be a manufacturing house, so we're not trying to pump out 12,000 rolls of the same thing every day. We like some variety. We like people playing with color and trying to do interesting things, and it's really rewarding for us to see that come together and watch their space just get dramatically transformed by just one wall of flavor paper going up, and I love it. I mean, that's what we do. We have fun with making interesting things for people's space, and that's what's the most rewarding thing at the end of the day, is to step back and say, look how crazy and cool that is. We made that. That's great.
Follow us on Twitter at BK Independent TV.